How do you fill a wall like this with plants safely and in a way that looks good? The design I'm using is inspired by a French woodworking and design studio. Their work is amazing, do check them out. You can buy these shelves directly from them, but I'm keen to make my own, and if I can do it half as good, I'll be happy. Terracotta pots have never really been my thing, but they look great here and are a key part of this design. To make them less porous, I'm using this pot sealant. These are new pots, but I still wipe them clean first because I didn't want to seal in any dust or dirt. Here is my first problem. Because of the sliding door recess, there are no studs on this wall below the door frame. There are thin battens, but I don't want those to be weight bearing, so I'll have to stay high on this side. The other wall does have studs, I just need to find them. I've never really had much joy with stud finders. I tend to use the tap and pin method. That is, tapping until the open sound tightens up. This means there's something behind the wall. Then I use a pin to push through the plaster. If there's a stud, it sticks fast. If not, the hole is too small to notice. My design will be based on where the studs are, so once I've found enough anchor points, I can start measuring and see what I can hang. I love the design of these hooks. They are so simple. The reason you need terracotta pots is that the lip anchors it in place, making it look like it's floating in the air. These are 18 by 42mm pine battens. The cardboard cutout was to test how the pots would fit and to make it easier to mark up. With the thickness of the wood and the curve of the pots, I should have given my design a bit more slack, so I did have to do a bit of shaping after I'd cut them. With the hooks cut, it was time to fix them on the wall and make sure they looked good. The top screw is the weight bearer here, going into the stud. The bottom one is just going to hold it in place. I'm going to put a shelf between these two, so it was time to mark up where that would sit. It's been in place a little while now and I'm not quite happy with the design. The two top ones here are a little bit close to this one and too similar in height to this one. So I end up having a kind of dead space in the middle here. So I'm going to take this side off, I'm going to cut it just above here, and I'll move this section into the middle there. I'd also repainted the walls, and so despite taking out all the screws, it was stuck fast. Yeah, there we go. It did do a bit of damage, so some repairs were needed. Quite a few of my houseplants needed repotting, so I divided up the ones I could. In the potting mix, I mixed in some sphagnum moss and some extra soil crystals to help reduce the need of watering. There you go, a bite-sized hanging garden. Before we go, you probably want to know how to water them. You can do it while they're in place by putting a cork in the hole of the lowest pot and watering those above. The excess water will drop down. However, that's not what I've been doing. With the pots, I also got some of these. Over a day or two, I rotate the pots through, allowing the soil to soak up the water from the bottom. It usually takes 2 refills to do the job. This also has the added benefit of making the soil much less appealing for gnats who prefer moist topsoil.